welcome to Stanley Street Social Daily Unpack of the Giro 2020. My name's Alex. I'm here with Campbell Flakemore. No guests on today's show, but we had an absolute doozy on yesterday's show at 5:30. We had Chris Harper, the Jumbo Visma rider, that had just returned back from the Giro. Like a slightly strange opening grand tour for the Neo Pro. He had 10 days of the Giro before his team leader, Stephen Kruijswijk, tested positive. So if you want to check out that chat with Chris, that's on the YouTube, Facebook, Twitter. Anything you picked up yesterday, Campbell, talking to Harper?
Not really. I mean, I guess he's just taking it all in his stride. A bit of a whirlwind first season as a pro. I imagine it's like no other season. So hopefully he can adapt to it all, and next year can be back to normal. Hopefully, doubt it.
You don't have a positive outlook.
Well, I'm not a doc. That's just my feel. It doesn't feel good.
It is good that he has another year. The couple of Aussies that I feel for, Diable, and what's his name? Sunderland. Two Australians on NTT, first year pros. This is your first year pro season, and then no team. That's it. Didn't matter if you had a 2-year deal. Too bad.
Cycling in a nutshell, no?
That is cycling in a nutshell.
Yeah. So it's showbiz, and sadly, that's the way it is. Wish it wasn't. Hopefully it's not in 10, 20 years' time, but yeah, alas.
Bit on last night.
Yeah. Filthy. Simone Clark in the knee warmers.
I think he was the first winner of the day. Already had the upper hand on the breakaway with the knee warmers on. Little bit of an alpha move in cycling, wearing as much kit as you possibly can at the start, just to note that you are stronger and not exerting yourself as much as other riders on the road.
There's a little bit of that, and there's also a little bit of experience that comes with that.
Well, it turned out to be experience when it was filthy wet down the back end of the day, and it looked freezing cold.
Didn't it? It looked absolutely filthy. And I mean, the Giro, it's been wild. The weather's been wild, and I think if it continues on, it's just going to get more wild. However, in saying that, there's a lot more noise coming from within the teams, within the riders, that they're getting to a point where they've almost had enough. Reference coronavirus.
Yeah, we had
Waters and Thomas again.
Yeah. Walters in particular coming out today saying that he's written a letter to the UCI and the RSC stating that he thinks the race should come to an end.
He did say in a non-chaotic way, i.e. let's push to the rest day. Let's agree. Everyone agrees this is the end, so we don't have just some wild result where it's called off tonight and then Almeida's the winner with the other GC guys not really getting to have a crack. So if they are going to go down that route, I would like to see some sort of
TT showdown,
some sort of planned finish. You know what I mean? Just not for it to be cut off. So today they don't race. I'd rather 2 days and then we're done.
Well, for example, well, really we've got 2 stages that you could finish it on. Tonight's pretty much pancake flat. And then the next day you've got the time trial. And then stage 15, the day after that, you've got an uphill finale after 3 Cat 2s.
Yeah.
When would you wrap it up?
Again, I'm not involved in any way, shape or form. I have no medical background. But I mean, the way things are going.
From a race consumer and a former professional.
Well, I guess you got to make sure everyone's safety is first and foremost. So I mean, if you're looking at it from that point of view,
Doesn't matter from a safety perspective, purely from a
let's
race
go,
perspective.
baby. Let's get to Milano.
No. I'm saying you can't get to Milano. You can either finish it on the TT or you can finish it up on the final climb.
Yeah. Well, I think the rest day makes sense. Gives
Yep.
everyone enough time to understand the new finishing point, rejig the tactics, have a good crack in the TT, uphill showdown. It could be a good starting point, but I guess this is all just pub talk right now. We can just assume that they're going to be going to Milano. I think the race wants to get there. Really,
Yeah.
if they were serious, they probably
100%.
would have pulled the pin now. So it's almost feeling like they've come too far to now rip the cord. But
Well,
like we said, there's tension in the warehouse in the peloton. Riders are starting to get a little bit of that agitated. Team owners getting involved, but you don't want to see the point where teams do just start pulling out one by one with no real order. It's just going to be chaotic. So hopefully everyone can work together to come to a suitable agreement.
Yeah. Obviously, the owners want to get the race to Milan. You can't just wrap things up without some kind of consequences financially, contractually wise. But you would have thought they might have invested a little bit heavily or invested more in the rider's safety if they did want that to happen. Talking to Harper, talking to Whelan, it sounds like a bit touch and go.
Yeah.
So we'll see. We'll see. Anyway, hopefully
but just quickly on that, on the De Ghent sort of viewpoint, there's a quote him saying, so he goes on talking about the tour. He felt safe there, didn't feel unsafe at any point. And he said, but I have a feeling that the organization is hiding things and giving it a twist, talking about the RCS. So
giving it a twist.
Maybe he feels as if they're hiding positive tests or, something wild along these lines, but who knows?
If anyone was going to do it, it'd be cycling.
Yeah.
Yep. I had that suspicion at the tour. I just couldn't believe that no one came out positive. I'm like, what do you mean? The country was clocking like thousands of cases each day, and somehow only the race director came out with a test.
He was probably mingling with people outside the bubble, but everyone that you speak to that was there in the bubble or you hear stories, they say that it was actually quite safe. And like Thomas De Gendt said in this article, he never felt unsafe at the Tour de France. So it seems like their protocol was a lot stronger and a lot more efficient than what's going on in Italy, evidently.
Yeah, we hope to see a showdown. I guess time will tell. We've also got Flanders coming up on Sunday, so who knows how much bike racing we've got left. Looks like the Welter's still going ahead.
Good start list coming up as well there.
There's a hot start list.
Tour
didn't quite work out for you. Oh well, next. Head down
the Vuelta.
The
case, though, isn't it? The Vuelta, it's that last chance saloon for
but
anyone.
it seems like there's a bit more. It just seems, I don't know, a bit more last chance saloon because it is just around the corner. Normally, there's a bit of a wait to the Vuelta.
Yeah,
it seemed like the Tour finished last week, and the Vuelta starting next week. Last night stage.
Yeah.
Back onto that. What were your thoughts on the breakaway? Nothing out of the ordinary?
No, I don't think so. I think we felt it was going to be a breakaway of some type, picking the rider, a little bit of the lottery. I went to Ghent, clearly suffering from other things. His mind wasn't quite on the job, hence him not getting a break. Cutting some slack there. But a lot of strong guys in there. Ineos represented, EF. Those guys have been hunting the breakaway. Joey Roscoe, he's been in there before. Strong American rider from CCC. So it was a super strong break. But in the end, Narvaez he was probably the strongest. I know Pudan had a super unlucky mechanical. I mean, that's the worst way. You'd almost rather crash or something, in the last couple
At
of
least it
Ks.
was your fault.
Yeah, than having a puncher like this and then coming so close, coming to within 9 seconds and then just blowing up. So that probably showed that Narvaez was probably the strongest. He probably would have won in a bunch or in a 2-up sprint if it had come to that. So yeah, still not good to see that sort of thing. But
It would have been nice to see those two go head to head into the finale from a entertainment viewer point of view.
yeah.
But yeah, Simone Clark picking up a third.
He hasn't quite had these top legs, it seemed, in this Giro. He's still got the good head, the good tactical nous, super. Now this is the word's going to sound bad, but he's a slimy rider, isn't he, Simone? He knows where to
He's
be.
a hustler.
Yeah,
He's got the hustle.
sniffs out the right moves, knows where to be, but just didn't quite have the legs against the two young boys. Just quietly on Mark Padoon, the least Ukrainian name of all time.
Mark.
And the last name sounds French.
Yeah. He sure does look Ukrainian, though.
Yes, yeah, he does.
Joey Roscoff, I thought he might have been able to get Jim just one final hurrah. He looked pretty good when that first move went on that final climb, but it wouldn't be for CCC.
No. I tell you what, though, NTT, they're taking this race, by the horns, aren't they? Second day in a row, we've seen them get a little bit busy. And there was a point there, I think it was 70k to go. They've come across this bridge and the wind is just ripping in from the right, and it was splitting a little bit. They were looking really committed, but Pozzovivo, it wasn't really the sort of stage where he was going to jump clear and ride to the finish. There's still 20 odd K from the top of that last climb, and he never really ripped into it, but it's a good sign for him heading into this last week. He just needs to get through that TT, losing as little time as possible. Brackets 2.5 minutes.
and he needs the Giro to get to that next uphill finish after that.
Yeah. And I really hope we do see it, because it's nice to see an old dog like this who we thought was well past it light up the race again. And 37 years of age, never worn the pink jersey. That would be a nice little fairy tale, wouldn't it?
Yeah, and also for NTT, we gave him a bit of flack at the Tour for not riding, for not taking the race on.
I think would that be right? We gave him a little bit of stick.
Oh yeah, it was definitely due.
Mm.
We've been giving him flack too for the last couple of years, but yeah, I think they were good. A couple of Australians too, Dylan Sunderland, Ben O'Connor, getting busy.
Yeah,
to do a little bit of damage to the bunch.
Ben O'Connor's looking really good, isn't he, right now?
Yeah.
Sort of almost becoming the last man for Pozzovivo. He finished in that front group with all the GC guys.
Yeah,
on a really tricky, hard, filthy day.
But remember the Giro 2 years ago? Like, he was unbelievable. He was climbing front group with Froome and Yates et al.
Yeah.
Like, he was superb.
I think he was 11th on on stage 18 and then crashed out, I believe.
Yeah.
So it's not like this is a...
It's not like, oh, surprise, I'm here.
Yeah, it's not like this unforeseen, but I just thought those couple of times in the breakaways, he just didn't have the legs, and I thought, oh, maybe he's just off form. But the last few days, getting around Pozzovivo, maybe that's getting him up and about a little bit. Just got a real leader who's hungry for it, and we've seen with Quickstep that brings everyone up. They had 4 guys, including Joao Almeida in that group last night. Knox, the Danish guy, what's his name? Honoré, and also Masnada. Is it Masnada? Yeah, Fasto. So 4 guys in a group of 20 odd. That's super impressive. You wouldn't have picked that at the start.
It's true, though. It's true at any level of the sport.
Oh yeah.
Like
But-
A. Clements in 2015, ready to throw in the towel. If there was a job to do or there was something to get your mind around, all right, I'm gonna get this work done. Like Roberto's on my wheel. I need to do this job.
Mm,
You get easy energy out of that.
yeah.
If you're just flapping around going, geez, I'm in the middle of France, it's sideways rain, I'm just trying to work out how I get out of this bike race.
Just making up the numbers as well.
Instead of I'm racing for 76th here, like what are we doing? That's hard. That's
Mhm.
grippy. The other Australian that we've been talking about a lot, he's been showing a heap in this Giro. Jai Hindley, white jersey, just sitting at the front, sitting pretty. Him and Wilco, no faults.
They're looking really good, aren't they?
They're looking so good.
They are looking so strong, these boys. Yet to really, like, I know Wilco had a little bit of a dig on Etna, but haven't really had to go and fight yet. They're going to have to soon. But I don't mind the game that they're playing because Kelderman, 34 seconds. I think if they went into the last couple of days with that gap to Joao, they'd be happy. So they can just keep playing the waiting game. But I think Wilco can do a good TT. So, like I've been saying for the last 5 or 6 days, just going to have to take stock after stage 14 and see what happens. But Jai Hindley, wow, he's yeah, again, hasn't missed a beat, always there when he has to be. And I'm interested to see how he TTs on stage 14 because, to be fair, I'm not sure what sort of TTer he is. Never really
I don't
stood
think
out
he really is a TTer.
as a good ruler. But I guess when you're top 10 in the Giro, that's a pretty good time to do a good one, and you'll be pretty motivated, I would have thought.
Cash in that white jersey potentially.
Mm.
Although he has got the race leader ahead of him in the white jersey competition. He's housing that jersey for Almeida as he wears the pink, but we'll see. Time will tell. The other point though from last night, like it wasn't easy to make the front. Like NTT were going fair hell for leather, and again, same as the crosswind day, same as the other grippy days in the mountain. Hindley, just there. He's always there.
Yeah.
He's so good.
Top 15 wheels all tour. Hasn't missed it.
Yeah.
So, yeah, very impressive.
Anything else from last night?
I don't think so. No one lost time. Had the breakaway. Pissing rain, so everything was kind of as expected.
Yep. Tonight.
Yes.
13.
Yes.
It is so flat for 155 kilometers. You don't climb a meter for 155 kilometers.
As a pancake.
It could be a street circuit for all we know. I know, you look at the map, it's not. It's point to point. But and then you get to 155k and you got back-to-back Cat 4s topping out at 20 odd K to go. What do you reckon?
Peter Sagan?
I know, to get dropped. Bora to go wild on those Cat 4s.
I think so. They tried a lot this year with these tactics, but this is the parkour that is teed up.
Yeah.
to do what they want to do.
You reckon when Sagan cashed his millions of euros that he's getting paid to be at this race, he went, I want this stage. Like I need this in the race.
Pretty much. It looks like it, doesn't it? It looks like the sort of, he said to the organisers, this is what I want.
Yeah. And he went, I wanted it 25k to go. And they went, no, we need to make it at 20, like just to make it half a race.
So
also this oozes how important that win that he got is. Like if he didn't have this win, Bora riding would have been like, oh, come on, man. Do we have to do this again?
So yeah, I think it'll be for him. Will they get any help from anyone else? Maybe
UAE for
UAE,
you,
but you just feel if it's not an uphill sprint, Ulysses probably not going to be there. With the top 2 or 3 guys. So it might just come down to Bora having to ride all day, which, given the last couple of months, they'll be happy to do. But and I don't know whether FDJ will be too confident riding at all today. Maybe they might throw one guy to help, maintain the break. But I think it's probably in their best interest to keep as many guys around Arnaud for those last 2 climbs, because like you said, there's still 20 odd K from the top of that last climb. So depending how many boys Bori use to keep it together to those climbs, there might be enough time if everyone stays together from FDJ to bring it back on that run in, depending who's there, who's interested to keep them away. So I wouldn't put Arnaud out of this completely.
Hang around with Miles at the top of that second Cat 4, ready for him to do a 10K pursuit onto the back of the group. A little bit of intel here from Andy Matthews on Facebook. Last climb, 2K at 10%, 500 meters at 14%. It's not an easy climb.
No.
It's a Cat 4 for a reason.
Yeah. And it's a sort of climb. That sort of gradient is where you can lose time very quickly. But I know he's looking when you're so strong like that. What's that? I don't know how long that climb's going to be, but it's not going to be super long. So, and it's not like you've had climbing all day. The legs are going to be relatively fresh coming in.
2K. The first one's 4.3, and the second one's 2.
Yeah,
and both super steep.
The first one at 7.8. It's not, that's quite steep as well as an average. So,
yeah, it peaks out at 11%, or 11.6. But like we talked about before, with teammates getting energy around riders, being in the race, being in the mix, and having intent, you also get energy from being so close to the finish line. Yeah. This is not a Cat 4 out of the holes and, geez, I'm going to be hanging on for dear life. There'll be a sense of victory, or they'll be able to taste the potential of getting to the finish when Arnaud gets to the top of that second Cat 4. I just got a question from Warwick. Only 155 kilometers? No, it's not only. It's only 155 kilometers to the first climb. Don't worry. It's still a Giro stage. 192. 192. So short, under 200, but yeah, not 155. That would be a time trial.
Do you think there's a chance of some opportunists jumping clear in the last couple of climbs?
Yeah. I think they will do it, yes.
They'll try. I'm sure they'll try. They'll have to try.
The way Peter was climbing the other night, though. These are his kind of climbs. Maybe a touch steep, but short, punchy. Go wild up that second one. Get rid of all the sprinters.
If this
Not
was
that Viviani really matters.
I was going to say, if this was 2018, you'd almost say Viviani.
Yeah. He would have already had 2 stages as well.
Yeah, he would have. So, yeah. Who am I going to pick?
You can't go against Sagan.
I know. I think Sagan.
Yeah. Little asterisk against Arnaud Demar if he gets back on.
Yeah. Bien.
Cool. And then we hope that we get to see stage 14, a time trial at minimum. And then ideally we get a final hilltop.
Yeah. And then the third week as well, ideally.
And then the third week as well. And then we'll head into the Vuelta.
Cool.
Beauty. Well, it'll be interesting to see what Dan has to say on Sunday, Campbell. For us Victorians, he potentially might be able to come around for the podcast after this.
Yeah. Well, let's not hold our breath. Yes.
We could come around. You could come around. You could be around here on Sunday to watch Flanders.
Could do. You feel it'll be a midnight sort of change of restrictions, though? You'd think Sunday.
Yeah, okay. So you can only come for like the last hour.
Yeah.
Anyway. All right. We'll be back here tomorrow at 5:30. Hope we get Jai Hindley on too. Jai Hindley on.
Pre-TT as well. Pick his brains.
Yeah. When I say hoping, I say hoping. If you missed it last night, Chris Harper was on. That's on YouTube, and also the pod you did Cambo on Monday with Miles Scottson.
Yeah.
We'll see you back here tomorrow. Thanks, Campbell. Thanks, guys.
Yeah.